Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Delony, PhD in counseling, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and host of the popular Dr. John Delony Show on Ramsey Networks. All of that, he's my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Erica is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Erica, what's up in your world?
Hi, guys. At first, it's an honor to speak with you both. My family and I were big fans, so much so that my now 2-year-old, one of her first words was 225, and we knew that she just wanted to listen to the show. That's what
She's got the phone number down already. She knows who to call in an emergency. I love it.
Right. That's right. So I wrote this down because I'm super nervous, but I hope that's okay.
Sure.
So I'm originally from Brazil, although as of recently, I'm incredibly proud to say that I'm an American. The Brazilian laws make it super complicated to leave a customizable will. So decades ago, my grandmother decided that she was going to, it's called donate, a portion of her part of the estate that she had to split in half with her deceased husband. And I don't know exactly how much. I think my portion is like 30%. As of early last year, my aunt has been trying to steal this entire estate from my mother and I, who are the other two beneficiaries. Last night at 8:30 at night, I got a text from my mom, long text, basically asking me to pitch in with lawyer fees. Now, this lawyer fee is not crazy like it is here because of the exchange rate, but it would be around like $500. And then she also said that Wednesday, tomorrow, she's going to be signing a contract, and there's going to be another additional fee that I would have to pitch in with halfway probably. Now, my husband and I, we have no problem doing this, but we are in baby step number 2. We have been working really hard for 15 months. We are finally trying to be a little bit more financially responsible, where my parents are completely the opposite way. I said no. And in the Brazilian culture, how dare you? So when I said no,
that's just the mother culture.
Okay.
All
maybe.
mother culture.
You're right.
Yeah, okay, I got you. All right.
You're right.
Brazilian mom might put a little more flair on it.
Oh my gosh, it's just such drama. So when I said no, she stopped responding to my texts, because then I asked, is there any wiggle room? Like, when is this due? Is it due right now? Basically, in the text message, she was saying, give me $500 now. Give me a blank number she doesn't know tomorrow. And so now she's basically not really speaking to me. And because I have 2 little babies at home, they talk to me all the time. So it's always been really hard for me to say no to them, especially when it comes to finances. Like they've put me into a ton of debt before I got married, and now, we're really trying.
How much is it, Erica? How much is this inheritance?
I don't know exactly. They would have to sell the entire house.
Give me a rough estimate in American dollars, please.
Around maybe 30,000.
Okay.
I would say.
No is the correct answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not $3 million, and it's probably not 30,000 by the time you get through with all this crap.
Yeah.
You're going to burn more calories than that. Just wave bye-bye. Put it in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Mom, you can have my half.
Do I say something like, I'll pay it later when I'm done with my... No.
I think you gave him an answer.
Yeah.
No is a complete sentence.
And part of you doesn't believe your mom's narrative, do you?
Believe, sorry? Say again?
Yeah.
It sounds like you don't fully believe your mom.
Because she's really
you don't call for lawyer fees at
the last
8:30
minute
the night before, yeah.
I It's not
Your
that
mom
I
needs
don't
money for
believe,
something
it's
else,
that
doesn't she?
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah,
we live
she
this
does.
lifestyle.
Okay.
But that's why you feel.
I don't
That's why you
know.
feel sick to your stomach. Because if this was $500 for $30,000 that you knew you're going to get, then that's a no-brainer. You wouldn't be calling.
And all the players involved were credible, except
Right.
the aunt. But yeah.
Even in baby step 2, that's a no-brainer. That's easy. That becomes one of your bills because it's a thing you need to cover to help accelerate this thing. But that's not the case here.
But you wouldn't call you wouldn't call your friend up and present something this vague and ambiguous.
No.
Okay. You would say, here's precisely what's going on. Here's the exact amount. And you would do it a week before, not 12 hours before.
Well, yeah.
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 And so there's something
So
wrong. It smells bad.
Yeah,
you know
the
why it smells
problem
bad? Because it
that-
stinks.
That's right. The problem that my husband and I have is that they have like a bunch of assets that they could sell off. We went crazy selling everything that we had in our house.
I know, but don't.
And-
Hey, get out of their heads. That's going to make
Right.
you and your husband
If
nuts.
you join crazy in their head, it makes you crazy.
Yeah. Don't get in their head and try to figure out why they are or are not doing things. Be grateful that you and your husband have made the choices you've made, and y'all are going to have real freedom for the first person in your lineage.
So let me try to paint this another way. When you get out of baby step 2 and you finish your emergency fund in baby step 3 and you start baby step 4, you're how old right now?
I'm 30. My husband's 33.
So when you're 40, you're going to be a millionaire, right?
In Jesus' name.
Yeah. And what's your household income?
My husband makes 90 right now. I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. In Jesus'
I'm
name and in the
pregnant.
name of
I'm-
math, somewhere around 10 to
Yes.
15 years from now,
Yes.
you will be
Yeah.
there, okay? And so
Yeah.
whether or
But-
not you get this $30,000, your destiny on this earth, your quality of
Right.
providing for your children is not based on this inheritance. If you never see this inheritance, which is fairly likely at this point, your life goes on.
Right.
So this is more about you just telling your mom no and loving it
Yeah.
and smiling. Just smile, be sweet. Just say, Mom, I love you. And I understand this means a lot to you, and I'm be happy to get the inheritance, and I'd be happy to put some money towards this, but not in the circumstances you presented, and so I can't do it right now. Sorry.
Right.
Or you can honestly say, we don't have the money right now.
Well, that's what I said. And she said, well, I don't have the money right now. And I wanted to be like, okay, then why'd you go shopping Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, right?
And that's my problem, Hal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I don't have them. I mean, you can honestly say that until you're at least out of baby step 2. Like, we don't have the money right now. We're negative. And why is it such an emergency now?
Yeah. This is weird.
I don't.
Erica, you smelled a rat, and you're used to it, and you know more about this drama and this narrative than we do. We've only got 2 minutes into it, and we can smell it. So
You're right.
It's hard. That setting boundaries with people who don't respect boundaries 100% of the time makes the other person crazy. They go bananas. 100% of the time you get a negative reaction when you set a boundary with a boundaryless person. Your mom's not used to anybody telling her no if they happen to be in her string of the DNA. And so it's something she needs to get used to. It'll be good for her. It's kind of sweet. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, technology has changed a lot in the last 30 years. Now the hot topic is AI, and I understand that it might seem intimidating. But if you use AI the right way, it's just another tool to help you work smarter and faster, like a calculator or a cordless drill. So if you run a business, you'd better get on board with it before you get left behind. And NetSuite by Oracle offers AI-powered tools that help small businesses improve efficiency and make smarter decisions by bringing all their major business processes into one platform. That way there's one source of truth for the real-time data you need to take advantage of opportunities. Then you can forecast better, scale more efficiently, and streamline those manual tasks that take too long. So join the more than 41,000 businesses, including Ramsey Solutions, that rely on NetSuite to help tackle some of their biggest challenges. And right now, you can download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. Jenny's in Portland, Oregon. Hi, Jenny. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave. I have a question about tax forgiveness.
Okay.
I was diagnosed with CPTSD and a traumatic brain injury and got onto Social Security because I was homeless. Someone taught me how to use one of the delivering platforms, and I was able to start working. But because those platforms don't take out taxes, I am starting an investigation at work regarding abuse, and they're going to investigate me. And I don't want my tax issues to distract them from, the real issue that I'm trying to get taken care of. So I'm needing help with the tax forgiveness program.
Okay, so you haven't filed taxes.
Correct.
In how long?
The last time I filed taxes was 2010.
15 years.
Yes, I was.
And you've been earning an income. You've been earning an income for how many years?
5 years, besides the disability I was getting before.
Yeah, and your recovery to where you're functioning again. I'll use my words. I don't know if that's the right words. Dr. John can help me with that. But where you become sustainable again, your recovery from the traumatic brain injury and the PTSD. Is 5 years ago, to where you became able to support yourself and sustain. Is that right?
Yes, I have since been triggered. I started in Portland, Oregon. There was the riots, and so and then I'm a caregiver as well, and I've been traumatized at work, especially by my current situation. So there has been. I have still experienced panic attacks and things like that, but I am trying my hardest to be a working member of society again, because I started working when I was 14.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to figure out is, okay, at the point that you were earning an income and you were functioning, at that point, prior to that, I understand not filing taxes. But from that point forward, which is about 5 years, why did you not file? Because you knew to.
Yes. I was overwhelmed with the process. I had started several times looking into it, and then something would happen, and I would stop working and have to move again. So there was a lot of.
Okay. What has been your income through that 5 years?
It's. I honestly don't know, but it started out well, and then.
No, I mean, were you making $30,000 or are you making $300,000?
I was making, at one point, I was making about $1,000 a week delivering.
Mm-hmm.
And that lasted for a few months, and then it, went down from there to about maybe $2,000 to $3,000 a month.
Have you gotten a phone call or a letter from the government asking for your taxes?
Nope.
I have not, partly because I've been moving around a lot because I'm still housing insecure. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. The technical, tactical answer to your question, which is not the answer to your problem, but it is the answer to your question, is to go to RamseySolutions.com and click on Tax ELP and get a tax CPA. If you come, quote unquote, out of the cold on your own and you come forward, they will not criminally prosecute you for not filing taxes. Not paying taxes is not criminal. Not filing taxes is criminally prosecuted. 2,576 people last year got criminal prosecution for not filing. So you need to go file yesterday. Okay?
Yes,
and the process listen, the process will sound like this. Sit down with a CPA and they will file 3 years. And they'll help you reconstruct the last 3 years. You will owe the taxes for those 3 years. There is not tax forgiveness. There is criminal forgiveness. but there's not tax forgiveness.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, there is back in the days when you were a pauper, but you're not a pauper now. You're not on Social Security. You're not, you're making a quote unquote living. Okay. So,
well, the problem is Social Security refused to stop paying me because
that's not a problem.
Yeah, that's just a distraction.
The check.
Yeah, just
I'm talking about you're not poor. If you have zero money of any kind coming in and zero assets, you can get some tax forgiveness. You don't qualify. So I would not go up that.
Right now I have zero income and I have about $500 in the bank. So, and I'm
sorry, I thought you told me you had a job.
I did, but I was fired because I'm bringing up these abuse accusations, and so instead of investigating the abuse, they're investigating me, and so I'm trying to take care of this issue so that it doesn't interfere with the abuse case that they're refusing to start. So it's a big mess.
Yeah. So now you have to go get another job, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because since you're employable, I think your answer to your question is you need to get 3 years tax returns filed and then begin some kind of a repayment plan, even if it's $1. But get something going to get this monkey off your back, because this is in the background worrying you along with all the other things that are chasing you.
It is. I did do that, and someone did reach out to me, but it was above my budget, so I didn't know if there was any kind of program that could help me. No. Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Coming up with a repayment schedule
is not a problem, but you have to file the tax returns.
Right.
So, yeah, and you probably, if you only have $500 to your name and you don't have a job today, you probably don't file them this week. But the sooner you file them, the sooner you get rid of the criminal threat hanging over you. Okay?
Right.
And it's not going, listen, none of that's going to affect a job. If you have a valid claim for abuse in the workplace, you not filing your taxes is not a destruction of your character.
Okay.
The abuse either was criminal or civil in nature, and it either happened or it didn't happen. Your taxes are an irrelevant variable in that discussion.
Okay.
So, and can we
focused on
focus is the word, because let's be very, very honest. Okay, when you get triggered, leading up to those moments when things just get real heavy, there's usually several things spinning around at once. Is that fair?
I've been in a spin for over a week, yes, sir.
That's right. So here's what I want you to do. The only way around this spin is right through it. So let's write down those things that are causing us to spin up. Do we owe taxes? It feels like I owe $1 million. You don't. You don't owe $1 million.
You may not owe anything.
Yeah, you may not owe anything because you may not have earned enough. But let's go right through that one. Let's put the next one down. Let's write the next thing down. And some of those things, like Dave said, you got to get a CPA. You got to get somebody to walk with you through that. But the only way to peace here is through the middle of it. And, man, you've got the help you needed. You want to be back earning a living and being up on your own, having autonomy. That's amazing. I'm proud of you for that. And I hate that you got somewhere and got settled and then they treated you poorly. That's the worst, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but Dave and I believe in you, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, and so what I want you to focus on is not in just listening to you, and I'm just a guy. Dr. John's got the PhD, okay? But just listening to you, I want you to focus on the things you can control, not the things that happened in your rearview mirror. The traumatic brain injury, the PTSD, the former employer that was at a minimum a jerk, at a maximum other things, okay? Those are not things you can control. And if you spend all your rent in your brain, your brain calories on things in the past you can't change, it keeps you from moving forward to things you can change, which is get a job, get solid, get sustainable, get peace back in where your lights are paid, your food's on your table, you not got $500 again, okay? And then you can afford to fight these people if you want to. You may not want to at that point. It may not be worth it. I don't know.
Well, what I'm fighting for is the other caregiver was abusing our clients.
That's not you don't have the money to be a crusader right now. I want you to crusade for Erica.
There you go.
Jenny. I want you to crusade for Jenny. I don't know who Erica is, but I want you to crusade for Jenny. I want you to be the topic right now. So I'm more concerned about you than you crusading for some moral outrage in the society. You're not got the strength or the money to do that right now, kiddo.
Yeah, let's get our housing taken care of and let's get those taxes filed, and that will give you some peace right
Get you a job.
Yeah.
Then if you want to pursue some moral outrage, let's do that. But moral outrage is taking up all your space right now, kiddo. That's what we heard when we're talking to you.
Rachel, do you ever get these sketchy text messages that are like, hey, you need to update your address and verify so we can get you the package you didn't order?
Yes, I have, George. Sketchy, and never trust them.
And that's why we recommend Delete Me. They help with that.
Yeah, they do. Delete Me actually goes in and removes your information from data broker websites, and it is an incredible service that everyone needs.
And there's a lot of shady companies out there that solely exist to sell your personal data to bad guys. And that means your info, like your email address, your home address, your kids' names, your name, everything is just out there for scammers and spammers to find.
So much.
But Delete Me will delete your data, hence the name. It's gone. They'll wipe it out for you so you can sleep easy.
That's right. And then once they remove your information, then they're going to send you a detailed report telling you where they found your information, when they removed it, how many hours they've saved you. I mean, it is incredible. It's so detailed and it's beautiful.
Get this. So far, they've reviewed 27,000 listings on my behalf, removed me from 240 data broker sites, and saved me 77 hours of time. It's incredible.
Absolutely amazing. And Winston and I now get fewer texts, weird emails, spam calls, all of it.
I love it. So you got to be sure to check them out. Ramsey fans get 20% off their annual plans. Just go to joindeleteme.com/Ramsey. That comes out to less than $9 a month. Super affordable.
Again, that's joindeleteme.com/Ramsey. Make sure to check it out, you guys.
Jamie and Kimberly are on the debt-free stage right here in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. How are you?
Doing great.
Where do you guys live?
We're in Greenville, South Carolina. Actually, Anderson, South Carolina, right outside of Greenville.
Very nice. That's a beautiful area.
Certainly is.
Love it over there. Greenville's done such a good job with their downtown.
Yes, they have.
We started going over there before that and then have gone obviously since, and it's really beautiful. They've done a good job. Welcome to Nashville.
Thank you very much.
How much debt have you two paid off?
$207,414.
I love it. And how long did that take?
25 months.
25. Whoa, that's quick.
Yep.
And your range of income during that 2 years?
I think we started at about 186, went all the way up to now 252.
Wow, that's a nice jump in 2 years.
Yeah, we've been blessed.
What do you guys do for a living?
So I teach nursing. I'm a nurse in critical care and teach at Clemson.
Okay.
And I work in human resources.
Okay, so just some really nice bumps in both careers, huh?
Very
Yeah.
blessed, yes.
Very cool. What kind of debt was the 207?
It was everything, Dave. Everything you teach us not to do.
You were
We've done it.
normal.
We're normal people.
We
so.
checked every naughty box that we
So
shouldn't
what were
do.
the naughty boxes?
So,
Let's talk about them.
11
That's
credit.
a very South Carolina way to put that.
Yeah.
It's in the naughty box.
It's in the naughty box.
And here was Santa.
Exactly.
Yes. So
11
what were
credit
the naughty boxes? Tell us about them.
11 credit cards, 2 car loans, a medical debt, a HELOC, and a 401k loan.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yes,
It's Christmas. I can tell.
Yeah.
Wow, guys, you did do it all. How long
We
y'all
did.
been married?
So we're a blended family. We're getting close to 10 years next April.
Oh, okay, great. So you brought some of this together.
We did.
We did.
And then added some more.
We did.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
what happened 25 months ago that flipped the switch for y'all?
So Kim's in the middle of her, well, at the time was in the middle of doing her doctorate program, Doctor of Nursing Practice Leadership. And it just got too much, honestly, for her. I wasn't as involved in the finances as I should have been. So I took that on and realized that we were pretty much drowning in debt. And just it overcame us, and we're like, we got to do something. So we went through our church, New Spring Church in Anderson, and they offered FPU. We signed up, started shortly, right around Valentine's Day of 2023.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Good for you.
And it was originally supposed to take us like 4 to 5 years to get out of debt. And Jamie just led us through it, and he said, you know what, we're going to do this in half that time. Dave, he cut me down to $20 a month for fun money.
Oh, he didn't cut you down.
He did.
Nobody cuts you down.
That's
You volunteered for this. I can tell.
$20 for eating out,
You volunteered
nails,
and
shopping,
acted like he did it. I can tell.
all the things.
Okay, so here's
Y'all are awesome.
I'm always perplexed by this. Y'all are both really smart people. How do really smart people end up under this almost $500,000
$250,000
of debt? I mean, $250,000 of debt. Yeah.
I think not planning.
Yeah, we had no plan.
We had no concept. It gets easy. We talk about that, easy to hit that automatic pay button on things. And when you don't have the money to charge it and worry about it later, it wasn't like we were really being extravagant or living extravagant lifestyles. It was just one poor decision after another of how to handle things that would come up.
Okay, so you averaged $8,000 a month for 2 years on debt reduction. Did you sell stuff?
Yes.
What's a big thing you sold?
Sold a truck.
What was that? How much was that?
About $12,000, I think, is what we got for the truck.
Okay.
We cashed in a whole life policy that we found out she had.
Okay.
And then
how much was that?
14,000, and then I cashed in some stock from restricted stock.
And how much was that?
That was another 15.
Okay, so that's like 60,000, 55,000, those three
bonuses.
things, and the rest of it you just gut punched.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Wow.
worked hard. I worked a couple jobs.
You can, you got a lot of access.
a lot of opportunities to do that, and anything we could, we sold, and we lived really lean. We had bargain food dates, didn't we, babe?
Yeah, we did.
I like it.
We would go and see how much groceries we could get for $100 and at the Knock and Dent grocery store, and
I like that.
it was fun.
That's fun, and you just made a game out of it.
We did.
And
Yeah.
then said we're going to be free.
Yeah.
Yep.
We tried to make it fun. It's a tough thing to do, but
it sucks.
It does. And then we found creative ways to do things free. We did family fun night, or actually what our daughter calls forced family fun night.
You got voluntold. We're
That's
doing
right.
forced family fun.
A lot
Yes.
of cards, a lot of card nights, game nights, that sort of thing.
How did y'all manage? Y'all make good salaries. You're a professor at Clemson. You're an HR director. People just assume when they walk out to the parking lot, you're going to be driving a certain thing. And how did y'all navigate that? It's tough to tell your friends, like, I'm not getting my nails done in South Carolina because that's what a Southern woman does, right? And
Yeah.
I can't go get coffee with you guys.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to. Not I can't, but I'm choosing not to. How do y'all navigate that? That's tough.
I think, having it really showed us who our true friends are, being vulnerable and sharing our story with where we were at. I took not quite a 50% pay cut, but a dramatic pay cut to leave the bedside and go to teaching. And we just didn't plan for it. So when we realized how significant it was, we really just reached out to our people and said, this is where we're at and we need your support and here's what we're going to do. And they went on the journey with us. They said, I know you can't, go out to eat. Do you want to come over and have dinner tonight and bring your games? And, so we just did that with our people. And I think that, it made us closer with them because we were
Amen.
vulnerable and they prayed over us and just really helped us. So we're fortunate
That's
to
awesome.
have these amazing people. And of course, Mike and Becky are our mentors for FPU and they were right there with us. So, when the bills came up that were unexpected or whatever, we could call them and be like, what do we do? And Mike would always say, well, Dave would tell you to do.
Go, Mike. Go, baby.
Those kind of things. So I think that really helped a lot. But
Well, that's a wonderful church y'all are a part of. I think I've
Yeah.
spoken there, if I recall, and if it's where I'm thinking it is. And
Yeah.
I think the whole place went through FPU at one point. So that's pretty incredible. So congratulations, y'all.
Thank you.
How does
very
it
much.
feel to be free?
Amazing.
The debt, just the weight of the debt is off the shoulders. You just feel better. You wake up better. You wake up energized, and
Yeah.
that's kind of how
Yeah,
it feels.
that's
How
it right
feels.
there. That's the one.
Sure does.
Yeah.
And of course, as soon as, we got debt free, then the enemy tries to creep in and we had
Murphy showed up.
an air conditioner that went out, which,
Oh, yeah.
that's not cheap. And then we had about $4,200 of medical bills that popped up. We had to pay those. And for the first time, he was like, not a problem. And it was just so freeing to know that, no matter what life throws at us, we have a plan that we're going to get together and get through this. And we have our people praying for us. And it's the lightest and most free you can feel.
Amen. Mm-hmm. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Get on the budget. Pray for God's wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, get people in your corner. So like we had family and friends, get them in your corner, and really follow the plan.
Yeah.
And just stick to it. I mean, it's
don't make up your own plan.
That's right. Use your plan, and that's how we did it. We, I'm the nerd obviously in the family, and in addition to every dollar, we also had spreadsheets that I'm like, okay, if I do this, then I know I can cut off this amount of debt, and it's going to take, instead of 3 years now, it's going to take 25 months.
Yeah.
So, but just stick to it.
It's amazing how math for us nerds can translate to hope.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
But there were so many times, where I would prop up, being like, well, if we did this, it'd be better. And he'd be like, nope, Dave says we need to do this, so we're going to stick to the snowball, regardless of what the interest rate is on this or that.
Right.
And we just plugged at it. And it was pretty crazy when we start writing those big checks to pay the bigger ones. When you get to the end, it's like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah. I'd wake up like at 3 a.m. sometimes, and I'd check my bank account and see if the check cleared to the last credit card.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, no more of that.
No, Dave, a funny story that Jamie did. He likes candy. And I kid you not, one day, he's going to kill me for telling this, but it's so funny. I promised a friend I would tell it, that he was so desperate to have some candy, he scrounged through his car to round up change so he could go to the Dollar Tree.
I've been there, brother. I've been there.
And buy him some lemon heads.
I've been there.
All right, it's Jamie and Kimberly, Greenville, South Carolina, $207,000 paid off in 25 months, making $186 to $252. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All in, baby. 3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Boom! I've been doing this show for over 30 years, and some of the saddest calls I've taken are from situations that are completely preventable.
Yeah, and what's so hard is I feel like one of those, especially the ones that I'm like, oh, it's terrible, are people that call in and their spouse has passed away suddenly and they don't have life insurance. We actually took a question of a lady, and she had 3 kids, pregnant, and husband didn't have life insurance. And I'm like, I can't even imagine. Or even if it was opposite, right? If a mom passed away, there's a dad with kids and trying to figure out, how am I going to afford childcare? How do I outsource some stuff that maybe she was doing? And it just takes the grief and the sadness of something like a sudden death to a whole new level. Like when you have to think through, how am I going to pay my bills?
How am I going to eat next week?
Yeah, in the middle of all that grief. Like it's terrible. And so life insurance is the one thing, especially as a mom with 3 little kids, that I'm like so big on for people to get because it's inexpensive. Xander is the place that Winston and I actually get all of our life insurance. And we keep re-upping it because I'm like, I just want it there. Like there's something about that safety of knowing that you have money if something suddenly happens.
And it doesn't cost much because Xander shops among a gazillion different companies. It doesn't cost much. You just have to admit that someday you're not going to be here. You got to say it out loud, and you got to say, I'm going to say I love you to my family by taking care of them and taking the time to put this stuff in place. It costs us stinking pizza.
It really is. So that is one thing to do, to say I love you to your family.
So we've used Xander for all of our family's needs for insurance for many years, including, of course, term life insurance. To get a free quote, go to 800-356-4282. That's 800-356-4282, or go to Xander.com. Caleb is in Tallahassee. Hey, Caleb, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Dave, thank you so much, and thank you both. Thank you both for being a Christ-centered image of, how our finances can look, young or old, no matter where you're at. Dave, I did want to say go Vols, as well as a recent graduate from the University of Tennessee.
Oh, wow. Very cool. What's your degree in?
I have a degree in agriculture. It took about 10 years. My father passed away when I was 19 years old, my only financial provider. Kind of got fed to the wolves early. I was playing college ball in North Carolina and had to give it all up. So Lord came through later in life to be able to provide the finances to get that done, even though I have a little bit of student loan debt.
I hear you. Okay. How can we help today, brother?
Absolutely. So currently now 30 years old. I've had 2 professional careers in my life, one as a professional hunting guide and one as a real estate agent. Currently still a real estate agent. The past 3 years, I opened a branch office of my brokerage in the next county. I have now been offered keys to the kingdom to buy everything that I built over here in this county. I now have my broker's license. I'm looking to transition to the active broker. We manage about 65 rentals, so we have a pretty good rental portfolio, brings in about $6,500 a month. After we pay our bills, for the office that we rent, my property manager, and just basic utilities, we bring in about $1,000 in profit a month. But the lights are on, and it really helps with the sales portion of the real estate company as well. Would you purchase this business? Would you not? And how would you do it? I will give you a quick background on myself as far as financially debt-wise. I have no credit card debt. I still drive a 2006 Duramax that's been paid off since I bought it. I only have about $200,000 in total debt with my home. And then I have, again, about $25,000 in student loan debt from the University of Tennessee.
And what are you making as a real estate agent? How much do you make?
So for the past 4 years in a row, I have gone from $90,000 to $125,000, and that kind of fluctuating.
Taxable income.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And that's after splitting with your broker.
That's correct.
Okay. And what's your split?
80-20.
Okay. All right. And how many agents work in this office?
I have 5 agents that work in my branch office that will be transitioning over if I purchase the company as well.
And what do they make the branch?
One is relatively new. The other 3, I would say, gross commissions, they probably bring in an extra 30 or 40, and I'm kind of the breadwinner here.
Okay. And so this business makes $50,000 a year.
The rental portfolio
makes 12. Makes 12. And these guys make 30,000. So that's 42.
You got it.
$40,000 to $50,000 a year, right? Because what you make, you could go make somewhere else.
That's right.
So
and
that doesn't enter into the equation.
That's right.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're not going to buy the business based on what you produce for the business. That would be dumb.
You are correct.
Okay.
You are correct.
All right. So, what is he? What's the current owner offering to sell it for?
So he's offered several different terms. $75,000 is what he is valuing the business at. So it can be a seller finance route, or it could be whatever route that I find that could be feasible. My goal to him was if I did any sort of financing, that I would pray I could have it done in 2 years, 3 years at the absolute max.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Can you guys help me? I don't know what you're buying.
He's buying an income stream, a business that is creating an income of $40,000.
But that comes with people.
Yeah, the people make the money, and the rental portfolio that they manage makes money.
Okay,
a little bit, not much.
But I mean, if you buy this for $75,000, and then 2 of these realtors quit.
Well, that's true of any business, though.
That's true. Okay.
I mean, if you buy a factory and all the workers quit.
But you still bought the factory. But I get
no,
it,
but they still don't have the income.
That's true.
The workers.
That's true.
I mean,
that's
so it's.
And there's a few items that I could probably go away with to increase our rental income with that property management portfolio as well, to generate anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a month of income from there.
Yeah, here's what I would do. I would offer him $60,000. And I'm going to pay you 100% of the profit of the business until we get to $60,000.
Okay, 100% of the profit too.
Not counting you.
That's right. Okay.
You take your money and go home and eat with that during this year, and during that year, you get these salespeople's button gear, and you tighten up this rental property management thing that sounds like it's pretty loose. Your margins suck on that. I think you can tighten that up a little bit. and you're paying out way too much. I mean, all this trouble you go to, 65 rentals for $1,000, I'd shoot myself. That's 65 tenants you got to screw with for $1,000.
Yeah, of profit, correct. Yeah, my property manager takes
Oh, I know. Property manager takes care of what property managers take care of, which means you have to take care of the property manager. So,
That's right.
That's right. No, your margins suck, dude. I'm in the business, okay? So, but anyway, that's not the end of the world. I think you can tighten this thing up, raise your sales among your team, hire some more people into the team to continue to sell. Hopefully this real estate market continues its healing process, and you tighten up the operations side on the rentals, and you can pay this guy in 1 year.
I like it.
And just tell you, I am not going. Our terms are you get 100% of the profits until we get to 60,000. It looks like that's going to be around a year. Mm-hmm. That's our terms.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if there's no profit because of whatever thing we want to make up that's a calamity or a catastrophe, then you don't owe anything until you get to 60,000. He gets all the profits.
Understood.
Okay. And so, yeah, I teach people in entree leadership to do that plan all the time. It's not debt because you're not in, the bank will put you out of business if you don't pay the payments. This, you got no payment if there's no profit.
That's right.
Okay. And so you knock it out really, really, really fast. I'm not giving them a lot of value here. A normal business, right. I would give it more value on this cash flow, but I'm with John. You can go down the street and open up tomorrow. Most of those agents would go with you, and you probably, if you didn't keep the 65 rental properties, it probably isn't the end of the world because it's not really doing that much.
Well, the time you spent on those, you could get one more sale of a house over the course of a year and get more commission than $6,000.
Exactly. This is a time drain for $12,000.
Yeah.
So a lot of calories burned. And I know you think the property manager is doing it all, but they never do everything. Okay. There's always someone has to lead the manager, and that's you.
Well, I almost wonder if you fire the property manager and you hire your own person and say, I'll pay you $100,000 to run these 65 houses.
Well, property manager now works for him. He's being paid out of that $6,500 a month, and that got him down to $1,000 a month. Yeah, that's part of it. So, yeah, you don't have $100,000 in profit to pay a property manager.
Dave, in this scenario, who owns all those 65 houses?
Individuals like you. A person went to a real estate company and asked them to manage it for them.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they're the management company.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's what they're doing. They're just collecting the rents. They're probably getting 10% of the rentals, but they got 100% of the hassle.
Yeah.
For $1,000.
That's a ton. I would have thought. I mean, as a guy that doesn't have real estate portfolio, I would have thought having 65 homes that you're taking care of was way more than. I mean, 6,500 real. I just would have thought you were making way more on those houses.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, folks, if you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck and wondering where your money's going, our team is hosting a free budget training this month. You'll learn step-by-step how to make and stick to a budget using EveryDollar, the world's best and most robust budgeting app. Plus, you can get your biggest budgeting questions answered in a live Q&A. Spots are limited. Sign up for free at everydollar.com/webinar. These webinars are excellent. If you really want to get control, you really want the money to behave. By the way, did I mention it's freaking free? Okay, shut up. It's free. Go watch the webinar and get yourself together. Sign up for free at everydollar.com/webinar. Free budget trainings all this month. Good stuff. All right, John, off air, I'm going to give you a full lesson on property management.
I can't wait.
Just kidding.
I can't
Wouldn't
wait.
do that to my best friend. This is The Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual, amazing relationships. Dr. John Delony, Ramsey personality, PhD in counseling, #1 best-selling author. He's my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ryan is in Seattle. Hey, Ryan, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you guys for taking my call. I appreciate that.
Sure. How can we help?
Well, I'm in a bit of a jam. I don't know how to get out of it. About 3 years ago, I had some parental issues that came up with my folks, and I got injured at work for about a year and a half. So I was on workers' comp payments, but I got myself into about $97,000 of credit card debt. I have a $32,000 personal loan. I have a $34,000 car loan and $18,000 in student debt. Everything's up to about $181,000 in debt, and my mortgage is at $767,000. I just don't know how to get out of it. I can't get a loan to consolidate because
doesn't matter. You can't borrow your way out of debt.
I was hoping to consolidate all that
It's
debt.
mathematically impossible to borrow your way out of debt. Okay, so what do you make?
My base is about $140,000 a year. With my overtime, I make about $180 to $220.
And you're single?
I have a stepson and a girlfriend that lives with me.
You don't have a stepson if you're not married.
Well, he's living with me and she's living with me.
Okay, your girlfriend's kid and your girlfriend live with you.
Right.
Okay, all right. Just making sure I understand what's going on. All right. And does she work?
She does.
And what does she make?
She makes about $60,000-$70,000 a year.
So she can support herself.
Correct.
So I'm talking to a single guy who makes $180,000 and owes $180,000.
Yes.
Okay. What was the nature of your injury at work?
I broke my foot, so I was out for about a year and a half with 2 different surgeries, and then before that, my parents. I saw the property that I bought was about $811,000 that I financed. My parents were going to live with me.
Oh, you have a property. Do you have a property now?
I do, yeah.
Oh, what's it worth?
1.1.
And what do you owe on it?
$767.
Sell it and get out of debt.
Yeah.
I can't. My credit's too low.
No, you don't have to have credit to sell a property.
But
you have to have credit to buy a property.
Right, I wouldn't qualify for anything.
I don't care. Go rent.
Yeah, rent for a while, man.
But the amount of money that I would have to pay off then, and then all the money I'd have to move, and the cost of the moving expenses, how would I get all that?
Honey, 1.1 minus 700 minus 180 gives you some moving money.
And you make $200,000 a year, dude.
You spend like you're in Congress, and you rationalize like you're in Congress.
Here's the thing: I hear the desperation in your voice, but also you're pushing back on every single thing we put out there. What's the deeper issue here?
The other option is this: live on beans and rice, and pay $140,000 a year onto this debt, and you are debt free in a year and a half, and you have absolutely no freaking life. You've been living like you make twice what you make. And walking around, strutting around like you act like it's okay. It ain't okay. It's stupid.
Part of that is because I was on workers' comp and I didn't have my full income coming in.
I know, but you make $180,000 freaking dollars.
I just
go live like go live like a normal person and pay this debt off.
And sell the car
in a year and a half.
Yeah, sell your car.
Sell your stupid butt car, and if you're not willing to do all that and you want to get out really fast, sell your stupid house. It's just a stupid house. Get you another one later when you get your act together. But you don't want any pain. You don't want anything to change. You don't want to sacrifice.
Oh, no. I'm paying for like all my money that I'm getting. Every single dollar I'm getting, I'm putting straight towards credit cards. I just started listening to your book, and I've already paid off 2 credit cards. I got one more that I'm paying off.
How much is that?
Next paycheck.
How much did you pay off?
The last one I just paid off was $2,477.
And what was the other one?
I paid half of a PayPal credit card. I'm going to pay the other half this week.
How much?
$1,003.
Okay, so you paid off $3,000 in what period of time?
In the last 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Okay, in 1 month. So if we annualize that, that's $36,000 out of 180. It's not exactly stepping, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also have a personal loan that I'm paying $870 on. I can't sell my credit card. I can't sell my car because I'll be upside down. on $14,000.
When you get to hurting enough, Ryan, you're going to figure this out, but you're not hurting enough yet. Okay? We just told you 4 things you could do, and none of them suit you. So I can't sell my car. I can't sell my house. I can't do this. I can't do that. Dude, you can. You can do all that. And when you decide you want to get out of this.
And here's how we know, because both Dave and I have done it.
Yeah, it's very possible, dude. You make a ton of money. You have this huge $1 million freaking house. You own $1 million house, man. I mean, really. So people listening across America are going, I got no mercy for this dude. Dave's being light on him, and I feel like I'm coming down on you. But seriously, dude, I want you to be free, but I want you to be free more than you want to be free right this second, because you're not willing to cut loose some stuff to get free. So cut loose the car, cut loose the lifestyle, cut loose the not stepson and his mother, and cut loose some stuff and get your life back. Because you've given your life away, and the way you get it back is you're going to have to give up some stuff.
You mentioned this a few times. You broke your foot and you were out for a year from work. And like, it's as though the world of math and the world of reality and the world of debt and the world of repayment and slavery, none of that should apply for a while because you had an injury. And the crummy thing is the world keeps moving, right? It just keeps going on. And so I hate that for you. And now you're back, and it stinks like, hey, man, now that I got this big fancy job and I've been out for a year on benefits, I hated that. I want to spend like I'm catching up. You can't. You got a huge hole you got to get yourself out of, man.
If you start applying $8,000 to $10,000 a month to this debt, not $3,000 a month, including making your payments, you're going to see it magically start to go away. If you're not willing to cut your life that deeply, then you need to stop your 401k at work. You need to make sure your withholding is correct. You need to quit investing. You quit saving. Take any money that's in savings and throw it at this debt. If you're not willing to do all that, a quick fix is to sell the stupid house. Both of those things will work. And yes, the car needs to be sold. You're a broke guy driving a $40,000 car. And so, figure out a way to come up with a difference and get the thing sold. Of course you're upside down. I mean, that's just in the line of other things that you did. I've done dumber things than you've done, honey, but there comes a point you wake up and you go, I've got to sacrifice to be winning. And it's going to hurt. Getting well is going to hurt.
Yes,
but not getting well is going to hurt more.
That's right.
So you got to make a decision. The faster you cut into this, the deeper you cut into this, the faster you're going to get out. That's the formula. And that's what we could see immediately, and because we're not emotionally attached to all these decisions. Good luck with it, brother. I hope you make the turn. This is The Ramsey Show. Let's be honest, shopping for health insurance can be confusing. With high costs, complicated terms, and customer service that doesn't really serve you, most folks just pick a plan and hope for the best. See, insurance companies don't work for you, they work for themselves, meaning they love it when you overpay. So you need a guide on your team to help you make the best choices. Health Trust Financial works for you. They're not salespeople. They help you find the health insurance option that makes sense and saves you money. The fact is, health insurance is one of the biggest expenses in your budget, but most people who work with Health Trust Financial end up saving $500 a month. Imagine putting that kind of money toward the baby steps. My team has worked with them for over 20 years, and they've served thousands of people just like you. They're the only health insurance broker that's Ramsey trusted to help you. So stop throwing money away and get the health insurance that's right for you at healthtrustfinancial.com. That's healthtrustfinancial.com. Andrew's in San Jose. Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Dave, John, thanks for taking my call.
Sure, man. What's up?
So I was wondering what you thought. I'd like to take out $75,000 in student loan to get a bachelor's in construction management. But there's one caveat, which is that because I am a DACA recipient, I am not qualified for a majority of scholarships that are out there or any kind of federal assistance.
Please don't do this, Andrew. Please don't do this.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Help me. John, what's a DACA?
It's a long story, but he is not a naturalized citizen, but he's lived here his whole life. And so he's a recipient. He can go to college, go to U.S. college, but doesn't qualify for a lot of the aid packages that are reserved for citizens only.
Gotcha. Okay. Now I'm catching
And so you want to go into construction management?
Yeah, so there's a trade school here locally that also has an online college.
Okay.
I'd basically do an electrician degree.
Yep.
And then that turns into a bachelor's in construction management.
Okay, so hear me say this. I want you to go learn how to be an electrician, and I want you to learn construction science. I desperately want that because you're going to be one of the most in-demand people in the next 5 to 10 to 25 to 50 years, okay?
That's a wonderful career field.
I do not want you to get $75,000 in the hole, okay?
What do you do now?
Currently, I'm a graphic designer for a sign company.
Okay. And so what made you pick construction?
So, I mean, I'm 29, and for the longest time, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I went on a tour of this trade school and the courses that they have available, and it just clicked. Like, it seems like something that it's with my hands, but it requires math and technical skill, which is something that I gravitate towards.
Okay.
And obviously, because I have a son and a wife, it's got to make money, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But have you gone down and check out the local community college in your area that probably offers the exact same program for nothing?
There's a JC in my area that gives me the certificate for electrician, but I'd have to go to further out, like a 2-hour city, to do it to make it into anything that's higher education. And
let me just tell you, 100% of the time, you do not need a degree to be in construction management. 100% chance. What you do need is the skills to be there. One way to get the skills is to go study it the way you're talking about studying it. Another way is doing it on the job and learn. That's how most people in construction learn construction management. They do construction, not graphic arts. So go get a job in the construction field, dude.
Okay. Yeah.
And work your way. Get in with an electrician that'll put you in an apprentice program.
Yeah, get your free certification there.
Get in an apprentice program, become an electrician, and then move from there and start working with the GCs in the area and take on some project manager roles on some small basic stuff and let them teach you construction management. Construction management is not rocket science, okay? It's logistics and math, what you found when you were doing that. What you ran into was a trade school that had a really good salesman.
And a shiny, shiny shop.
And it made it look like this was going to be a thing. But listen, it's project management. And just in talking to you, I think you could do it almost now.
Yeah.
You're bright, okay? You're a smart guy. Except for this part about biting on the $75,000 hook. I think you got a little thing stuck in your lip right there. It's a hook. And so, But no, dude, really, go get in the construction business. I grew up in the real estate and construction business. I love it. And I think it's something that AI can't touch. So you're not going to get replaced by a stupid computer. And ChatGPT can't spell construction management.
And it can. I promise you in 10 years, they're not going to say, whoa. I know you can wire up this entire project, but we need to see that certification. No one's going to have time.
Well, you can run through an apprentice program and become a certified electrician, but you do not need a construction management degree. I'm sitting in a building that costs $60 million to build. This portion of this building goes $60 million. The guy that built this building, working for a commercial construction company, did not have a construction management degree.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, what he did was he swung a hammer and he dug ditches and he wired stuff and he did whatever and he learned project management. And you can take some project management courses and there's some basic things to learn about that everybody ought to know for that matter, because everything's a freaking project. Running a wedding is a project management thing. So, I mean, whatever it is, right? So, there's nothing bad about that. But you pick that up at the community college. Don't be hunting certifications as a silver bullet to make your life successful. Go look for skills. Skills that you can put literally, in this case, and figuratively, in your tool belt.
Can we, I want to double click on that because I think that might be one of the more profound shifts that's coming our way. Okay. And that is, we have been told for 100 years to go get certified, go have somebody else stamp you, whether it's an outside credential, whether it's an outside. And colleges have responded to this by coming up with credentials on any number of things that have never been credentialed.
Left-handed puppetry.
Everything is credentialed, right? So I'm a certified left-handed puppet, whatever. So here's the deal. In the future that we are entering into right now, people are going to ask, can you do this thing?
Yep.
So don't go get certified in how to sit with hurting people. Go figure out ways to sit with hurting people. Don't get certified in how to fill in the blank. Go learn how to do that thing because that's going to be the new currency because their certification stuff is going to get winnowed out with the internets, with the computers. I'm convinced of that, Dave.
We've already seen the beginning. Number one, the trades have never done that.
Right.
Number two, the new version of the trade called tech. Mm-hmm. I got tech. We got 460 tech people working here.
Yep.
The number of them that have 4-year degrees in information systems is almost zero.
Right.
But the number of them have lots of certs and have gone to classes and know how to code, gone to code school. They learn the skills.
They have to learn the skills.
They learn the skills.
Right.
And I don't care what their certification is.
Right.
What I care is, can you code?
Correct.
Can you build the platform for the code to sit on? Can you create a customer interface? How fast can you do this? At a Dev 1, Dev 2, or Dev 3 level?
Right.
Are you really quick or are you just slower than Christmas? I mean, this is what I'm the employer. I'm the guy writing the check. And so I'm telling you, you don't have to have a cert.
I have a degree in salesmanship. I don't care. Can you sell something?
Crap.
That's what's going to matter.
The only thing that means is you got sold. Doesn't mean you ever sold anything. So, yeah, that's the essence of this, Andrew.
Chase skills.
And this is coming from John, who has a PhD in higher education.
And I used to tell, don't get a PhD in leadership. Go lead something. Go ask for increased leadership responsibility so that you can get moved up the ladder in these areas and increase your influence because you know how to do the thing, not because you can wave a certificate around and say, look, somebody else says I can do this thing.
Yeah, I had a fun discussion with Jim Collins at Entre Leadership Summit last week. We were talking, maybe on stage in the interview, but certainly off stage. We talked about it too, I remember. He told me the story. He was teaching entrepreneurship at Stanford. And, a guy kept saying, yeah, but are you?
That's a great critique. It's a great critique.
And that's what caused him to leave.
Yeah.
And go open his own for-practice, for-profit research firm that led to the book Built to Last, Good to Great, Great by Choice, How the Mighty Fall, all these masterful works that are based on his masterful research that he did for profit because he decided, if I'm going to teach entrepreneurship, I probably ought to be one.
I find it no small coincidence that most of the teachers that I had that were of high influence for me, professors, were either theologians that also led small churches at the same time, or they were mental health professors that also had practices or were working in the communities doing the thing because they got to tie the practice into that knowledge, and then you get a much better the passion jumps into the students, right?
Who was it taught me to go into debt? My finance professor, who was broke. He was broke. What's wrong with a broke finance professor? That's like a shop teacher with missing fingers. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You ain't one.
Right.
You ain't one until you is one, right? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. This is how this works. So, yeah.
Chase skills.
I believe in education. Being dumb is not a plan, okay?
I do, too. I believe in going to college.
I believe in gathering up knowledge. But the silver bullet is your gathering of knowledge and the application of it in the marketplace, not the piece of paper that said you did it. If all you do is collect degrees, you're a thermometer.
All right, Dave, you have some strong opinions.
Possibly, yeah.
I think so. Okay, because you really prefer credit unions over big banks.
Well, credit unions, for one thing, are non-profit, which means that the members, the customers, own the credit union. So any profits that the credit union makes goes back into customer pricing. So you get better interest rate on savings, cheaper checking, and so on, that kind of thing. But that's what's more important than that, though, is the fact that the customer is the owner changes the spirit on the credit union. So I find very few credit unions that aren't very customer-centric.
Well, and I think we have found one that is incredible, and that's Fairwinds. They are an incredible credit union that is really out with the heart to help the customer.
They're the right kind of people with the right kind of values. And they've done a really, really good job with customer service. And the deals that they're offering, the Ramsey Tribe, is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it. The things that we teach, they so line up with. And you're right, their customer service is unbelievable. Winston and I just signed up and we got an account.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. It took less than 5 minutes. It was so user-friendly. Like, the step-by-step approach was unbelievable. And then the next day, my phone rings, and it says Fairwinds on my phone. So I answered it and talked to someone there, and they said, yeah, they give calls to every new customer. And so, again, they just really care about your experience, and I so appreciate that. Plus, anything that you can do at a traditional branch, you can do with them at fairwinds.org or on their app, and you'll have free access to over 33,000 ATMs.
Hey, you guys know how much I hate banks in general, and so for me to do this is a big deal. Talk to our friends at Fairwinds and check out the combined checking and savings bundle that they created just for the Ramsey Tribe. You guys, it's incredible.
Yeah, you guys, it's so easy to join Fairwinds no matter where you live. So go to fairwinds.org/Ramsey.
Fairwinds is federally insured by NCUA.
Well, we love folks joining us in the lobby at Ramsey Solutions. We love them joining us on the debt-free Scream stage, and we really love it when they're one of our own team members. That's like super fun, except for the part where 900 members of Ramsey stand in the lobby not working to cheer them on.
Okay. No, Dave's like,
you people all get back to work. What's wrong with you?
The per hour cost in his mind right
it's
now.
Awful, yeah. All right, so Randall and Renee are with us. Randall is a senior product designer here on the Ramsey Real Estate Trusted team, Ramsey Trusted Real Estate team. Been here about 4 years, right?
That's correct.
So very cool. All right, so we're not going to ask your incomes like we traditionally do because all your peers are standing around. That would be unfair. But Renee, what do you do?
I'm a homeschool mom, and I also tutor for our classical conversations co-op.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. All right, good
so
stuff.
together y'all make $1 million a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it done in no time.
That's right. No time.
Yeah, John, if I said that, that would be called a promise. No, I'm not saying that.
Sorry.
So. All right, so how much did you guys pay off?
So $118,155.80.
Whoa. Love it. How long did this take, guys?
5 years and 1 month.
I love it. Very cool. All right, and you've been here 4 years.
That's correct.
So you started on this journey and didn't come to work here. How weird is that?
It was a little bit weird, especially when it was at the beginning of 2021. You were putting out the call for creatives to apply on the radio, and she's like, "You have to apply right now." And I was like, "Okay, hang on, let's think about that for a second." But then I warmed up to the idea, applied, made it through the extensive.
Did y'all
interview
move
process.
from somewhere to come here for the job?
From Minnesota.
Okay,
at the tail end of all the COVID stuff.
Yeah,
out there.
yeah, of course. Yeah, we're out of here. All right, cool. Yeah. Well, welcome to Nashville. And 4 years later, you've been sitting in this environment paying off $118,000. What kind of debt was it?
So a mixture of mostly student loans, so like $96,000 student loans, a couple of credit cards, personal loan, car loans, all the normal things.
Yeah. How long y'all been married?
22 years.
Okay. Wow. So what happened in the year before you came to work here 5 years ago that started you on this whole journey getting out of debt?
So in 2019, at the end of the year, we started receiving letters for collections for student loans. We were $10,000 behind on payments.
Whoa!
Yeah. And I got the letter and I didn't tell him. I hid the letter because he had a lot of anxiety and depression and just really struggling mentally with the debt. And then January, we got another letter, and I realized it's not going to go away, so I have to tell him. And I did. And then within a couple weeks, we went to church, and a very sweet couple, Matt and Krista Hammond, got up and did a testimonial about paying off $130,000 in debt, or $180,000.
Sounds like us, yeah.
Yeah, but they did it in 3 years. And I looked at Randall and I said, we have to take FPU. And so our class was supposed to start March 2020.
Oh, of course.
Yes. And we got
so many things that didn't start in March of 2020.
And we got one in-person class, and then from then on we did it over Zoom, and it pretty much took one class, and I was obsessed and just like got on board, started listening to the show every single day, 3 hours, 4 hours a day. I was listening to all the back episodes, and I was like, we are doing this, we're Gazelle Intense. It took him a little bit longer to...
Yeah, it was another 6 months for me before I started seeing the pinprick of light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I was in a really dark place before all that. So,
yeah.
And then somewhere around that 6 month mark, you hear me on the radio go, "We're hiring creatives," and she went, "Yeah, load up the truck. We're headed to Beverly, baby."
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Wow, very cool.
You didn't have any facial hair when you started this journey, did you?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I actually have. I started that in Minnesota. It was to keep my face warm because it was brutal up there.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. So what is it like, tell the truth, to work with people at Ramsey while you're trying to do this?
I can't imagine a better environment to try to accomplish this than working here. It's the weirdest thing when you're literally everybody talks about their finances.
Isn't that
weird?
weird?
We got this, got so much. I've got so much debt, and it's we're working on it. We're paying it off. It's fine. And everybody's just really open about it and super supportive. And every time you're like, oh, I had to this setback, and I'm like, well, just get back on the horse, and you're gonna nail it. And it's so rewarding just from that standpoint that literally everyone's behind you. Every month we have the walk the talk thing with Jade getting up on stage, and you're just motivated all the time to make sure that you're getting there.
Yeah. Wow. Well, they are all out here to cheer for you. I was making fun of them, but I'm proud of them for cheering for you because you did it. I'm proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Who was cheering you on other than work compadres?
My Randall's parents. They were probably our biggest cheerleaders, our biggest support. They helped us a lot, so we couldn't have done it without them. They're here with us today.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
They came all the way down to. Are you from Minnesota?
No, they're from Destin, Florida.
Oh, okay. Came up. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that'll work too.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Tell us about these two boys over here.
Theron is 15 and Elias is almost 12.
Okay. I can see that y'all definitely held back on haircuts. Wow.
A lot of scissors at home.
You sound like an old redneck.
I call him a hippie all the time. It's just because...
he looks great. Hey, I'm jealous, man. I can't grow my hair like that.
I don't make hair jokes. It's a rule.
So what was the hardest part about telling your boys no?
We had to take them out of Taekwondo. They couldn't go to church camps. We couldn't go to amusement parks, which we are from Florida, so we went to amusement parks a lot back in the day. Couldn't go to state fairs and county fairs, and so for that was the hardest part, not getting to go out to eat. We went at part of our getting out of debt celebration was going out to eat, and that was
so they're celebrating big time.
Oh yeah.
They have a life now.
Oh yeah.
They're both
mom
wearing
and dad
shoes
paid
now.
a price
Finally,
to get them.
yeah.
Mom and
awesome.
dad paid a price to get them here.
Yeah.
Way to go, y'all.
Yep.
Way to go. I'm proud of you. Good work. Very, very cool. All right. Now, the question we ask everybody, what's the key to getting out of debt? You paid off $118,000. You stuck with it for 5 long years to do it, and now you're free.
I would say work. It's not going to happen if you have a tiny shovel and you're just going to sit back and expect it to happen. Like you said, you don't fall into debt. So for me, the first couple years, I did everything. I did Shipt. I did Instacart. I did DoorDash. I did Etsy Shop. I did online evaluations. I did everything I could. And then 2021 and 2022, I had a neck injury, had to get 2 neck surgeries, and I couldn't work for 2 years. And so that's why it ended up taking us longer than we expected. And once I got through all of the recovery on that and I could actually work again, I said, I'm done. at the beginning of 2024, I said, I'm sick of this. We're going to get done. I got a full-time job as an online pickup clerk at Kroger. Hi, pickup team.
Wow.
And I tutored for homeschool co-op, and I homeschooled. So it was just like work constantly. And it was less than a year later, we got out of debt.
Yeah.
So
way to go, young.
Yeah, I would also add to that, to everybody listening, don't wait to start. Like I was in like a hopeless place, but after we started, like there's so much more hope on the other side of that. So
it does start with a pinprick of light, and then it gets larger and larger.
Yeah.
And it starts to be just a real light at the end of the tunnel that's not a train. Yeah.
And I heard this recently, that thing you just said, when you're in a hopeless place with no hope, that remembering hope is an action. It's that first step. So start the class, right?
Yeah. What was the church you were going to in Minnesota?
Crossroads in Hastings, Minnesota.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, hats off to those guys for offering the Financial Peace University class. Thank you. Well done. All right, Randall and Renee. All right, get the guys up here. We want to see them on camera. They get to scream because they, too, are free now. And good stuff. Very good. I like it. Good. All right, Randall and Renee, Theron and Elias, our own team right here. $118,000 paid off in 5 years. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yeah! Love it! Man, that's powerful. Way to go, you guys. Proud of you. Proud to have you on this team. This is The Ramsey Show.
Most phone plans are like bad roommates. Unpredictable, always asking for money, hard to get rid of, and they never do the dishes. But Boost Mobile, totally different story. It's just $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. No contracts and no weird hidden charges. Just $25 a month forever. That's right, the $25 price will never go up. And if you're still skeptical, I get it. That's why Boost Mobile offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Boost. You'll love it or get your money back. Go to boostmobile.com/Ramsey to make the switch today. That's boostmobile.com/Ramsey.
Restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com/Ramsey for details.
Big news, there's another chance to get away with your spouse at the Money and Marriage Getaway. It is back for Valentine's Day weekend. Goes on sale today. You can spend 3 incredible days in Nashville with Dr. John Delony, Rachel Cruz, learning the tools to strengthen your connection, deepen your intimacy, and more. Again, Dr. John Delony, Rachel Cruz, February 12 through 14. Goes on sale today. Early bird pricing right now. Tickets start at only $7.49 a couple. You can get your tickets for the lowest prices before they end at RamseySolutions.com/getaway, or click the link in the show notes. And also, there's a Money and Marriage Getaway still available in November 6th through 8. It is almost sold out. So we put the February date, the Valentine's Day date on sale today. Our question of the day is brought to you by Why Refi. Some lenders won't touch defaulted private student loans, but Why Refi was built for this exact problem. They'll explore refinancing options with a low, fixed rate, custom-built deal for your situation. Visit whyrefi.com/Ramsey. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. Might not be available in all states.
Oh boy, buckle up. I just read through this question, Dave. This is the part of the show after 30 years where we get canceled. Today's question comes from Jeff in California. Our dog has had some hefty vet bills recently. Oh boy. It's got my wife and me wondering what is the maximum amount we should spend to save his life. We're baby step 7. We make $127K a year, but could use some help on how to think through if if we have to make this tough decision. Oh, Dave.
I have a dog that I like more than most of you.
Me too. I have 2 of them. I have a third dog that I can't stand, dumber than a box of hair, but I love the other 2.
Yeah. I've had 11 or 12 dogs in my life, and they are the favorite things I've ever had. I just love dogs. My dog, I've got a little Havanese bear dog. It's at 12 pounds.
A bear dog.
Legend has it that the Havanese bear dog will protect you from bears, and I think legend is true because I've not seen a single bear since I got it. So there you go. So we go for a walk. We did 5 miles on the golf course this morning at 5 a.m., and the dog is trained to come sit. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful dog. And I truly prefer this dog to most people.
Yes.
I really do. It is, however, a dog. It's not my grandchild. If you ask this question about my grandchild, how much would I spend? All the money I've got.
All of it.
All the money I've got. And then some. Okay? This is an animal that I love dearly, but it is an animal. And I will tell you, being the old guy here, whose wife grew up on a farm, and therefore you eat Bessie that you bottle fed 6 months ago, and then you shoot Bessie and you eat her. So there you go. She's got no attachment to these things. It's a dog. It doesn't even care that I like the dog. But so you got to she keeps the perspective on this thing. So, but what we've observed with people that love their animals like we do is that it becomes about us instead of the dog.
That's it right there.
And we spend $8,000 to keep the dog alive while the dog is suffering. Mm-hmm. And it's not fair to the dog.
Amen.
And that's what usually happens around this kind of question.
Yep.
And I could fall prey to that too. I just explained this to you. I'm about to cry just talking about it. But no, seriously. Whew, yeah, I've put them down. We've had them send them to heaven. And but we had one that when the kids were little, they got spinal bifida. Mm-hmm. So at 8 months old, the dog can't walk. And the vet says, $2,500, we can do a back surgery, and the dog probably will still not walk, and it will be in pain. And I'm like, so why are we? The $2,500 isn't the point. The point is, what are we doing to this dog, and why is this? What's this for?
Right.
This is for the children to make our children watch a dog suffer.
Right.
Well, that's dumb.
Right.
And so you just kind of have to get past this thing of we don't get to play God and keep them alive. They have a lifespan of 10, 12 years maybe, or whatever they live, and so we outlive 10 or 12 of them if you live to be 70 years old. And so you kind of got to get that built into the system here and not put the poor animal through suffering because you're a big baby and you can't cry. But I've sat there and cried, sobbed while the vet puts one of them down. And but that requires more courage than prolonging the dog's life and letting it suffer.
It's honoring them.
Now, if we can actually fix the animal, well, sure, we would spend some money on it, and that would be the percentage of money you would spend on that would be, if you have some money. Do I go $14,000 in debt to put new hips into a Labrador Retriever? No, you do not. If you don't have the $14,000, you're going into debt to do it. No, and you're not buying a $14,000 car either with that. I'm not going to tell you to do that either. It's a dog. And so, that's you're unkind. Just go ahead and whatever hate mail you want to add to the Ramsey file, just put it out there on Reddit or wherever it is you people do what you do, have at it. But, most of the time this is about the person, not the dog.
Yeah, here's what I think, and this is going to make me sound equally on the other side super soft. I think dogs are one of the greatest gifts to humankind, and I made a commitment to my dog. My very first dog I had of my own. I tell you this, probably the top 10 hardest I've ever sobbed in my life was in that room when I put that dog down. It takes me 2 seconds. I can get choked up on that.
Yep.
And the commitment I made as a new dog owner when I was 20 years old was I'm always going to do what's right by this dog, not what's right by me. And so what you mentioned, the dog got sick and, hey, we can do this, we can keep it going here, and we can do that. That's not the dog I had. The dog I had was a maniac and loved being out and loved chasing stuff. And to steal that from that dog so that I don't have to have a really challenging, tough experience and weeks of grieving and all
that you're going to have anyway.
I'm going to have it anyway. Right. It's just dishonoring.
The dog is not going to outlive you.
It's dishonoring.
Unless something's
that's exactly
wrong.
Right. Yeah. So I'm a big believer in honor that animal. And, and they've gotten so sophisticated with vet medicine now. It's almost, they can do like the surgeries they do on people, they can do on these dogs now. So they can prop them up and prolong them and all that. It's just dishonoring to that animal.
Yeah,
that's
you
my
get
opinion.
a puppy, just mark the calendar. You got 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
And
or 8.
You know.
Or
depending on the dog.
Right.
You know, and how screwed up their bloodline is. But yeah, how inbred they are. But the, you know, it's just that's...
They're an amazing gift, man, but they're here for a short time.
This dog I've got is 2 years old, and it's just now got its brain grown in. I mean, the dog did not have a brain. It was ridiculous. And now it's turned into the smartest animal, one of the smartest animals I've ever had. But I've worked that dadgum animal, man. It's unbelievable. And I love this dog, I'm telling you. But I'm 64. I'm going to outlive this dog. Right. And I got to deal with that right now, you know, when I'm sitting here talking about this. So it breaks my heart, Jeff. So number one rule is you don't go into, if you have to go into debt, it means you can't afford it. Number 2 rule is, and more important than number 1, is the dog suffering? And this is for you. And I got to tell you, 90% of the questions I've taken on the air about this are that issue. That's where it boils down to. It becomes about the human rather than the dog. And it just requires great courage to bring an end to something. Mm-hmm. And courage doesn't mean you don't cry.
Right.
No, and
courage means you have the courage to cry.
Yeah, there's that too, at length. So so any of you, now this is not the George Camel Sell the Horse show. If you want to add to that, you have to go to a different hate page to add to that one, because George has all the horse people in America torn up.
It's the Anti-Equine Association.
Anti-Equine. George Camel is the president.
The charter president of
Anti-Equine.
That's right.
We need a logo for that one.
Just a horse with a line through it.
I love it. George isn't even here to defend himself, but he will when he gets here.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's fun. Hey, guys, this is fun. And it's this idea of, you know, what happens with money is it gets tangled up in all your values.
Yeah. And emotions, yeah.
And your emotions. And get used to that. It's in your relationships. It weaves into that. And stuff like, you know, how long we let a dog die. How long we let a dog live. You know, and what's good for the puppy. So love your dog well. That's the point. Love them so well that you don't ask them to suffer for you. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, what are you still doing here? You know the rest of the show's happening on the Ramsey Network app, right? So you got to jump over there to continue watching. You can download it for free. Just go to your app store, type in Ramsey Network. It's completely free, and I'll drop a link in the show notes to make it easy for you. So if you're watching on the app, you're in luck. But if you're watching anywhere else, this show is over for you. So jump onto the app and let the fun continue. All right. Go on now. Don't make it weird. Okay, I got nowhere to go, so you need to go. Okay, bye-bye now. All right, it's getting weird over there, guys. What do we do?